Okay, well, we're gonna start on page 37. But we need to do the flag salute really quick first, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, page 37. We are talking about the adverb opener. We already learned about subject opener and prepositional opener, and now we're moving on to adverb, which is probably the easiest one to spot because they're usually ly adverbs. And actually they always do. I think they're always ly, so that's nice. And they're a number 3, so you're going to mark it with a 3 with a circle around it, and then ly. So the example, the first one says, surprisingly, Robin approached the town, and then confidently, Robin approached the town. Notice one has a comma and the other one doesn't, because there's a comma rule. And the comma rule has to do with what part of the sentence does that ly adverb apply to. So if it modifies the whole sentence, so at the bottom where it has the picture of the commas, so it has the comma, it says use a comma if ly adverb opener modifies the sentence. Do not use a comma if the ly adverb opener modifies the verb. So in the first one, the way to find out is use the sentence, it was blank that blank. So it was surprising that Robin approached the town. So when you use that little test, by the way, let's write it on there. I think that'll help. It'll help you remember for your homework. So next to those example sentences right there where it says surprisingly Robin approached him, next to that, put it was blank that blank. And this will modify the whole sentence. I'm just going to put use comma if this works, and it does for that first one. So it was surprising. You're going to use the form of that first word. It was surprising that Robin approached the town. And the next example, confidently, Robin approached the town. If I say it was confident that Robin approached the town, that doesn't really work, right? So confidently is telling about the verb, which is approached, just that verb, you know, it's modifying approached, not the whole sentence. So confidently is how he approached. So that one you don't need a comma for, okay? If it's modifying the verb. So that next section under comma, that's basically what that's telling you. And then about numbers, if it says spell out numbers that can be expressed in 1 or 2 words, like 12 and 100. Instead of writing out 1 and a 2 for 12, you'll write out the word 12. If it's a number that can be expressed in 1 word or 2, write it out. Like a date though, like 2024, you write that out with numbers. Yeah. It says use a hyphen with numbers from 21 to 99. And then you spell out ordinal numbers like first, second, last, all of those, or first, second, third, fourth, fifth, those numbers. They're going to do it wrong on purpose in the book for you. So you're just going to draw a line through it and then write the word on top of it. So that example says Robin had 9 arrows in his quiver. So instead of the number 9, because it's 1 word, you can write it out. You have any questions about that page? Okay. A little bit more on the back. On the back, this is page 38. It says, think about it. According to the verb definition, there are 3 categories of verbs: action, linking, and helping. And we've talked about those before. Every clause has an action verb or a linking verb. When a helping verb helps either an action verb or a linking verb, the 2 verbs together are called verb phrase. So whenever you have two verbs right next to each other, verb phrase, you don't have to do anything different in the book. You're still going to label them with a V, but they just want you to think about that. So the first one says action. So here's an example of an action verb. So Robin shot an arrow. Which word is the verb in that sentence? Shot, and that's an action. And then the next example says linking. Robin felt upset. Which one is the linking verb? Felt. It's the five senses, remember, is part of the linking verbs too. So felt upset. And then helping plus action, Robin had shot an arrow. What are the two verbs together? Robin had shot an arrow.
Had and shot?
Yeah, had and shot. So that's an example of a verb phrase because they're together. Had shot. And then helping and linking, Robin did feel upset. So what are the two verbs there? Hi, Jana. Come on in.
Did and feel.
Did and feel. Yep. Because feel is that five senses again. And then did is a helping verb with it. So that's another verb phrase together. I recorded because Arabella is absent today also. So if you need to watch the beginning of the grammar, you can. This is a handy list here on page 38 is where we're at. And we just did a little review about action, helping, and linking verbs. But here's the list at the bottom. All the linking verbs, am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. Notice those are the same in both lists. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. And then it changes a little bit. The linking verbs were on 38. Seem, become, appear, grow, remain. I'm at the very bottom here. And then taste, sound, smell, feel, look. I can say that. Those are your five senses. And then at the bottom of the helping verbs, you have, has, had, do, does, did, may, might, must, can, will, shall, could, would, should. Those are the lists if you ever need to go back and look for those. Let's go to the practice page 39. Lily, can you read the sentence for us?
Fearfully, Robin Hood escaped to Sherwood Forest. He was an outlaw on 2 accounts and could not return home.
Good. Accounts is our vocabulary today. And that just means like reasons, for 2 reasons. So, sorry, my stuff's all spread out here. I just realized that. There we go. And then you could put a check by vocabulary on that. There's one article, so go ahead and find that one by yourself there. A-N or the?
And
Yes, good. 4 nouns. So Jana, when you're ready, where are the 4 nouns?
Robin Hood.
Yes, so you'll do a little bracket for that one, yes.
Home.
Mm-hmm.
Sherwood Forest.
Sherwood Forest.
Is that a bracket?
It's a bracket, yep, because it's the name of the forest.
Accounts.
Accounts is a noun, yes. And actually, I'm looking at my book, and it says that home is not a noun, and I'm going to explain why. So go ahead and erase that in, because it does sound like it should be a noun. But the other noun is outlaw, because it has an right behind it. So that tells us it's a noun. So home is actually an adverb in this sentence because it tells where. Remember, you asked the questions how, when, where, why, and to what extent. So that's telling where they're returning. So because they're returning where, they're returning home, that's an adverb. That was a tricky one. So above home, put ADV. Even though it is a place still, but it's because that right before that, it says return. That's what changes it. That's what's hard about English is It depends on where it is in the sentence, what kind of a word it is. But you got your 4, right? Robin Hood, Sherwood Forest, outline, and accounts. Okay. One pronoun, Lily. Where's the pronoun?
He.
Yes, he. Then there's an adjective. You see that one, Jana?
Um, fearfully.
No, that would be, that's the other adverb because it has an ly. Adjective is going to describe one of the nouns. And it's, I'll give you a clue, it's accounts. So what word tells more about?
Two.
Two. But we need to write it out because that was the lesson you missed. So whenever the number is used, if you can write the number in one word, you spell it out. Or 2 words. But that one's TWO. And then write adjective above that. And then Lily, let's see, the adverbs, we gave away 2 already. Home and fearfully. And which one?
Escaped.
No, that's going to be a verb. It's another tricky one.
Return.
It's right before return. It's actually not.
Uh,
That's an adverb. That's another one we don't see very often. Not return. It's telling more about return, right? Not return home. Yeah, that's a tricky one. So not is it functions as an adverb here. Coordinating conjunction, Jana? And good. I'm going to skip prepositional phrases. We'll come back to that. So what about the verbs, Lily?
Escape.
Escaped is one.
Could.
Yes, could is one.
Was.
Yes, was.
Return.
Yes, and return. Good. Subject, Jana? There's 2 of them.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood is the first subject.
Sherwood Forest.
No. So after the period.
He.
Yes. Every sentence only has 1 subject, so most of the time. I guess every once in a while there's more than 1. Most of the time it's just 1. So 2 subjects, and then we have more verbs, which you already got those. Now the prepositional phrases, Lily. Do you see those?
To Sherwood Forest.
Yes, to Sherwood Forest. You see the other one?
Was an out.
No, because was is a verb. What is it, Jana?
On 2 accounts.
On 2 accounts, yeah. Starts with a preposition. I like to do those last because it's the words that don't have anything on top. Openers. How about you each do one? So Jana, you do the first opener.
Ly.
It is. You missed the lesson we talked about today, but
It's 3.
it's 3. And then Lily, what do you think the next opener is?
One.
It's a yes, which is which one?
I forgot.
It's a subject. You were right though. It's number 1 subject opener. Number 2 is the prepositional phrase opener. And then 3 is ly. So those are the 3 you know so far. Capitals are 6 of them. Jana, where are all those?
Fearfully he. Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Sherwood Forest.
Yes. So Sherwood and Forest both need capitals too. End mark is just a period. And then Lily, what about the comma? Do we put one in or take one out? Yes. After accounts, do you know why?
Because we're describing things.
Yes, very good. That's right.
And 1 word.
2 verbs there. Yep. And you already did the number. You fixed 2, right? TWO. So that's it. Any questions on that page? Oh, you got it. Awesome. Good job. Yeah, that one with home threw me off too. I always forget that if it depends on if it has a verb right before it, it changes it to an adverb. So, all right, your homework will be in the next 3 pages like you normally do. And go ahead and get out all your stuff for Odysseus. Is that what you guys wrote about? Odysseus and the Cyclops. Yes. The weird one.
Yeah.
At least it's kind of entertaining a little bit. You don't have to, but does anybody want to read it? You want to read yours?
I
Okay.
don't have that.
Oh, okay. If you want to read it, like when you come to class, you can print it out and
Okay.
read it next time.
So
So go for it.
I put the title as The Great Odysseus.
The Great Odysseus. I love it.
Odysseus and his men were heading home from war when a storm hit, which trust which I forget what I think I
Did you forget something there?
which it was.
Let me see what you got. Let me look at it.
So that word right there.
Oh, thrust. Or
Thrust.
thrust. Yeah. Which means like to push. So
Oh, yeah.
thrust. Yeah, you got it.
Thrust them to the island of Cyclops. They were giants with one eye and they raised sheep. They adventured into a cave of Polyphemus, son of Poseidon. When Polyphemus found them, Odysseus scarcely replied, "We are soldiers returning from a war." The Cyclops, unimpressed, ate 2 of Odysseus's men. The Cyclops rolled a great rock in front of the cave to trap the men. Polyphemus, who was hungry, milked his sheep and tastily gobbled 2 more men. Odysseus and his men nervously planned their escape when the Cyclops was away. They sharpened a pole in the fire because they needed a weapon. The Cyclops returned, milked his sheep again, and munched on 2 more men. Odysseus offered the Cyclops some sweet wine, which was strong, potent.
Yeah.
The Cyclops who drank it asked for more, promising a gift he gave him if he gave him his name. Odysseus gave him the rest of the wine and answered, "My name is No One." The Cyclops went to bed because of the strong drink. The trap the men, then heated the pole red hot and stuck it into the Cyclops' only eye. He ran out of the cave and the other Cyclops he ran out of the cave and the other Cyclops the Cyclops helplessly screamed, "No one hurt me." Odysseus and his men grabbed the underside of the sheep and escaped the Cyclopses when he was letting out a sheep.
Nice. Give me 5. Good job. Slap for her. Very nice. I love it. It's good. And I'm glad you caught that. So make sure you read it out loud next time too, before you come to class. But I really liked your ly adverbs that you used in there and your who, which clauses. And I didn't hear say or said, which was good. And the other banned word was see or saw. So you had to get creative on some of those things, huh? That was good. And strong verbs too, because you underlined those too, huh? The strong verbs, or
Yeah.
did you get to underline them? Okay, good.
Adventure.
Yeah. Good.
Gobbled and mm,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think I ever learned this.
On that one, I did see that you put potent. I think you might have thought that was a strong verb. I put a note on your Google Classroom that I love that word potent, by the way. You should keep that word, but it's not a
I think
verb.
it's adaptive verb.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, you can underline that one.
Yes.
So speaking of band words, we're adding another one today. Wah, wah. This is on the blue page, so you should have seesaw, say, said, and now we're gonna add think, thought.
Oh.
Yes. It's gonna get harder. So in that box on top, just put think and thought. Is there another way you can say that? Can you think of something? Speaking of thinking.
Wondered.
Ooh, yeah, wondered is a good one.
Remember?
Yes, remembered. Good one. Pondered. Did you think of one?
No.
These are hard. I'll help you because these are a little, but if you think of one, let me know. Imagined is one. Hoped. Or dreamed is one. This is a hard one. Oh, expected. I'll do one more and realized. Actually, all these things happen inside our heads, right? Because when we think about something, it's usually quiet. Nobody else hears our thoughts. So, and there's more. So if you think of more, you can add to this later. But if you're tempted to use think or thought, go here and look at the other choices and pick one of those for your story. So, any others that you can think of at the last minute? You can add to it later if you think of more. But that's a pretty good start. So this goes in behind the tab that says banned words. Oh, yours is already there. So you can stick it back there behind banned words. And then the rest of your stuff for Odysseus and the Cyclops, we're done with that. So you can put that in your finished binder or wherever you keep your finished.
I keep it in the finished.
You can keep it in the same binder. Just last year, it got so full that we had problems with our binders. But yeah, you can't put that back there. And then you're gonna get out the next week, which is week 6. It should be behind the, yeah, it's called, there you go.
The heart and
The heart and the ox stall. In the ox stall. And I think it's 4 pages, let me see. Yeah, 4 pages, and then you will need lined paper too. And this right here, wait, yeah, source text, that tab, take out that tab and you can put it on top of this page right here. Yeah. That way, then your binder's ready. It's like after, yeah, you got it, that was lucky. Yeah, and then a piece of line paper. So week 6 is what you're getting out next. There we go. It's nice. They're giving you this pink page this time for all of your LY adverbs. That helps. Sometimes I like to even like tape it up on the wall near where I work, when I do your homework and stuff. So it's up to you if you want to keep it in your binder or tape it up on a wall somewhere. Because sometimes, I don't know about you, it's hard to think of one. And then to think of a good one, because sometimes we end up using the same ones over and over, so this is a good list. And then, of course, there's a spot here to add your own. If you're reading a book, or even sometimes in your science book or your history book, you'll come across an LY word, and somebody thought of one earlier today. It was obnoxiously. And I was like, that's a good one, obnoxiously. I don't think that was on here. Yeah. I don't think it's on here, no. I think if you want to add it, let's add it.
How do you spell that?
Good question. I'm gonna guess, but I'm also gonna ask Siri. How do you spell obnoxiously?
Found this on the web.
Oh, she's not gonna spell it for me, but it's OXIOU, obnoxiously. You guys know that word? You've heard it before?
I've heard it.
I think I've heard it before, but.
Obnoxious means like, think about your little brother or sister, because usually they're obnoxious when they're hyper, they've had too much sugar and they're like loud and they're like knocking things over or making a mess or just like crazy. It's another word for like that. So obnoxiously. So if you're doing something like my little sister obnoxiously ate her cereal, maybe she was like, it's like flinging everywhere. So obnoxiously. Anyway, if you come across others, you can just keep track of them here. At the very bottom says imposters, and those are words that actually have ly, but they're not adverbs. They're going to be adjectives. So instead of describing how someone does something, it's describing the person or the thing, like chilly, like the room is chilly, right? We're describing a room, or the girl is friendly, or the old guy is ghastly. I don't know. Ghastly is like, oh, I don't know. But anyway, these words are describing either people or places or things down at the bottom. So they're called imposters, even though they end in ly. They're adjectives. So think about the word and make sure it's telling more about the action, like obnoxiously eating her cereal, like that. It's telling how she does it. Okay. Now that we looked at that, let's look at the heart in the ox stall. I'm gonna go ahead and read this story. It's short. By the way, I think it is one of those Aesop's fables. If you remember those are short stories that have a lesson that you can learn from it. And so I'm gonna read this and then we'll talk about what kind of a lesson we can learn from it. And we're also gonna be building a story sequence chart. So think about the characters in the setting and then the problem and the resolution or how it's solved. Okay, so it's called the heart in the ox stall. By the way, heart is another word for a deer. It is a male deer. Normally we call him buck, but heart is another term for that. For an older buck, like 5 years or older. And we see a lot of deer around here, so the way to tell their age is how many knobs or points they have on their antlers. I don't know if you knew that. So like the younger ones are just like little, and the bigger ones have more coming off of it. So next time you see one,
You just count the points?
you can count the points. I don't know if that lines up with the years though, but it does show if there's more points, the older it is. So that's one way to tell. This picture though, the antlers almost look like moose antlers. They're different than the deer like we have here, but anyway, it's a type of deer. And then you guys know what an ox is, right? Yeah, those are those big, strong, kind of cow looking type animals that they pull like they'll pull a plow or something. They're really strong
Yeah, I
working
read in my
animals.
books a lot.
Okay, cool.
They like pull all this stuff from-
Yeah, they're farming. Yep, livestock. Yep. Okay, so a hart, hotly pursued by the hounds, fled for refuge into an ox stall, wherein it buried itself in a truss of hay, leaving nothing to be seen but the tips of his horns. Soon after, the hunters came up and asked if anyone had seen the hart. The stable boys, who had been resting after their dinner, looked around but could see nothing, and the hunters went away. Shortly afterwards, the master came in, and looking around, saw that something unusual had taken place. He pointed to the truss of hay and said, "What are those two curious things sticking out of the hay?" And when the stable boys came to look, they discovered the hart had soon made an end of him, meaning they shot him. They were hunting, so they thus learnt that nothing escapes the master's eye. So the wording is a little weird in this one. It's kind of like old style, words like thus and learnt. And truss. So a truss of hay is basically a pile of hay. You probably figured that out by the picture. So you can see it's kind of like giving you a view of inside the hay stack. But I think what they saw was just the hay. They didn't see inside of it. They only saw the horns coming out of the top there. So what kind of lesson can we learn from it, you think? What can we learn? A life lesson from this story? I mean, it kind of explains it at the very end. The last sentence, nothing escapes the master's eye.
Yeah.
So that could be true of your parents. You can't get away with much with your parents, especially probably your mom, because she's aware of everything. So no sneaking things around and, but that's something we can learn from it is to not be sneaking around, but also the stable boys. Remember so the stable boys are the ones that work on the farm. They're taking care of the stables. And they got lazy. They had dinner and they were resting. And they probably just looked in and go, nope, not in there,
Yeah.
They didn't take the time to really look at the hay because there was something sticking up out of it. But so that's another lesson we can learn, is to make sure we look for details, especially if it's your job. Pay attention to the details. Have you guys, I don't know why I'm thinking of this right now, but have you ever like asked your mom if you could have something that's in the fridge, like a leftover piece of pizza, maybe in the fridge? And you open the fridge and you don't see it, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's not there, Mom. And your mom's like, move the ketchup and move the milk, and there it is. It's like,
Yeah.
you gotta look with your eyes and your hands sometimes. So my kids did that all the time. I was like, it's there. You have to just look for it. So yeah. Okay, so that's what we can learn from that. Now just get out your lined paper next, and we'll set up your story sequence chart, get this going. And did you guys want to add anything to that we talked about? Any other thoughts? Okay. All right. Name and date on the upper left, like we always do. Today's 10/21/24. And then skip a line, and the title is The Hart in the Ox Stall. Remember, we capitalize just the first word always, and then the keywords after that. So in and the do not get a capital. Ox dash stall. And then SSC. You guys remember what that stands for?
Story sequence chart.
Story sequence chart. Yeah, I knew you had it. You were yawning at the moment. It was there. And then a line, skip a line, and then a little bit to the left. Give yourself a little more room on the right side of it. And then we're just gonna set up your Roman numerals here, and I think we just need 3. So it's short. 1, 2, 3, and then skip a line. Roman numeral 2. Skip a line, Roman numeral 3. I feel you, Jana. I'm so tired.
I had a long day yesterday.
Oh, man.
I woke up like 3 times yesterday.
Oh,
last
no.
night.
You had a long day and then you woke up 3 times at night? Yeah, that's the worst. Probably gonna need a nap later. And then draw your line across right on top of the Roman numerals. I didn't get up last night, but man, I just feel like I just didn't get enough hours of sleep. I went to bed,
Well, and
I think it was like 10:30, but I had to get up at 5, so it was a little short for me. I like having a long
so I fell asleep at 10.
Okay.
Then I woke up 3 times in the night, and then I woke up at 7.
Oh, yeah. When you wake up at night, is it hard to go back to sleep sometimes? Yeah, I hate that.
It always happens.
Yes.
Like if like my little baby sister, she like sometimes likes to sleep with me, but my bed is like a twin bed, so it's kind of small.
Oh my
And
gosh.
She sleeps kind of crazy, so she'll push me off the bed. So I wake up like 3 times at night and she sleeps with me, and then it's hard to go back to sleep.
So
That would be.
my brother was sleeping with me. Because I also have a twin bed, and he was just
It's like, there's not enough room.
pushing me out.
Oh my
She always
gosh.
does this. Like it's a bed, and then she pushes just her head, and then my head goes off the bed.
And you don't want to wake her up because
I
then
know, I
she'll be
don't
like
wanna wake her
crying
up.
or something, huh? Oh my gosh. You're like dealing with it. You're like, oh. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Okay, so what do we talk about in the first box? You guys remember? What do we usually put here? We introduce,
Character.
yes, characters and setting. Characters / setting. And then what questions do we ask in that box? Do you remember? Who? And for setting,
What?
not what, but
Where?
where and when. Those are the questions we usually ask in the beginning to set up the story. And then what do we usually talk about in the middle?
Conflict and problem.
Yes, good. I know I'm going fast, but I'm gonna leave it here so you guys just keep writing. Conflict and problem. And this is when we ask what, like, what does the character need? What does the character want? What is the character thinking or doing or saying? All of those questions, okay? And then at the end, Jana, do you remember what we do here? After conflict and problem? Starts with a C.
No. Climax and resolution.
There you go, you got it.
I remember the resolution. I couldn't get that one.
Yeah. That's where I was talking about the mountain peak, you know, and you don't know if the character's gonna live or die or find his way home or be lost forever. It's like that point of the story where you don't know what's gonna happen. Like this poor ox or this hart. Yeah, his ending wasn't so great. He got found. So this would be how. How did it get solved? Some stories have a sad ending, you know. I don't really like those too much.
I
I'm more of
happy
a-
endings.
I know, I'm more of a happy ending person too. And I can't stand those movies where it just leaves you hanging, like it doesn't, it's like, you don't know what happens.
Yeah.
They end it and it's like, oh, that's the end.
I know.
Does that ever happen to you guys?
Yeah.
Or sometimes like every once in a while we will watch movies with commercials, and it always does it the best part of the movie.
I hate that.
I
And the
know.
commercials are loud
I know,
sometimes.
and
It's
they're
like
long, too.
interrupts it.
Yeah.
I know. I watch that too sometimes because we don't pay for the service, but if you don't pay for it, then you have to watch the commercials. It's annoying. All right, so we got some characters here. Let's start at the top. Obviously the heart, which is the deer, the male deer. In the very beginning, who else is there? Like, what other characters are there? We got the heart, but who else does it mention in the first sentence there?
How?
Hounds, which are dogs, right? Probably hunting dogs.
Yeah.
So, and the heart was being chased by them. So I'm thinking right here, we can start by mentioning the heart. And then I'm gonna put chased hounds. Not that the heart chased the hounds, but chased by hounds. You guys will remember that.
It doesn't really chase sounds.
No. The predator would be the hounds and the heart would be the prey on that one. And then where does the heart go? So we can imagine the scene, you know, these dogs are chasing, and where does the heart end up?
In an ox stall all night.
Yes, in the ox stall. And it's a hyphenated word, ox dash stall. And I'm gonna put hay here. Ox stall, even though it's hyphenated, we can count that as one word. And then we have hay, so technically it's two words, but I think that's okay, that's enough. I don't think we need anything else for that one. And then we have some more characters that come in after it's hiding. Who comes in next? The hunters. So that'll be for number 2. So the hunters come in next. And they asked if anyone had seen the heart. So we could do like a quote here. And put seen heart, question mark. Of course, when you write this, don't use seen because that would be a banned word. Because remember seesaw, even though it has seen with an N, it's still part of C. So you might use like spotted, like has anyone spotted the heart, or has anyone? That's the tough one.
Yeah.
Witnessed? Found? Ooh, good one, found. That would be a good one.
So has anyone found harm?
I'm just gonna make a little note over here for found because I like that. On the side, just for your help. We found the heart, or if you think of a different word, you can use a different one. And then the hunters went away. They saw nothing. They went away, and then who comes in next?
The stable.
Stable boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that was before. Yeah, you're right. They didn't go away yet. So the hunters were there. Has anyone seen the heart? And then the stable boys are next. Okay, so stable boys. Boys. So shortly after, oh, let's see, stable boys who had been resting after dinner looked around and could see nothing. So I'm wondering if we should do like you could do resting or dinner. And I'm thinking like doing eyeballs and then like a 0 or something.
Or like circle and cross it.
Or circle and cross it out, the eyes. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can do either resting or dinner here. I'll put dinner. Basically, you have to remember that they were tired, because I think because they were tired, they weren't paying attention. You know what I mean? And then the eyes, I like that. And the line through it, that's a good one. I imagine they're just like, to come over here, I'm so tired. I don't see it, you know,
Yeah.
not there. Okay. And that's when the hunters went away. So this is leading up to the main problem here, which is this hart trying to survive under this hay. And so, well, the other half of the problem is though, that they couldn't find it. So there's two problems going on. The hart has a problem because he's like hoping to stay alive. And then everybody else is looking for it, this hart. Can't see it or can't find it. So then we have let's see, it says that the hunters went away. So we can mention that next. Hunters
Away
away
or go or something.
or go, but is that a bad word? Yeah, it is, huh? Go went. Oh, no, I think it's just
No.
seesaw, say said,
Thought.
Yeah.
and think thought, okay. But we can, this is kind of short, this is kind of a short story. So we're turning a really short story into 3 paragraphs. So basically you're gonna have to add more to it to make it sound good. So they went away and then the master comes in, right? Oh, wait. Did the dogs leave? Hold on. Hunters went away. Oh, it doesn't say. Okay. The master comes in and saw something unusual. The master, so there's just one. So we can mention him next. Master. And maybe do the eyeballs unusual. I guess we could use saw in the outline. It's okay to use band words in the outline. But when you go to write it, you'll have to think of something else to say. But I didn't have to draw that because we only have 2 words there. So then he pointed to the truss of hay and said, what are those 2 curious things sticking out of the hay? So basically he saw the antlers. Hold on, did we have it? Oh yeah, we do have that, okay. What else can we put about the problem? Because right here, let's see.
Not hard to make this thing.
Mhm. Like stretch it out, that's what we have to do. Okay, I guess we could still keep going there for the problem. He pointed to so he saw something unusual and he pointed to the hay and said, what are those 2 curious things sticking out of the hay? So we could say, pointed hay, and maybe in quotes put what, like, what is that sticking out of the hay? I'm gonna jump down here because the next part is when he brings the boys back in. So he's calling out to the boys, boys. Come, look. I think he's probably irritated, a little frustrated, like you missed it. And then they discovered, oh, this is where the master saw the tips of oh, let's put that here for number 3. This is when he saw maybe the tips of they say horns, but it's kind of antlers. So however you guys want to describe that. And then we could put here, tip. I guess we'll say horns because that's how they said it in the story. sticking up,
How could you put that
sticking
one?
out. I know. It's like, I guess you could put sticking and an up arrow. After he calls them in, then the boys, it says the boys, then they discovered the heart. Discovered heart. And this is the sad part, they made an end of him. Made end him. And then the final punchline, what can we put at the end? You learn,
Nothing escapes the master's eye.
nothing escapes masters, and then draw an eyeball, maybe? Yeah? Yeah, yeah, okay. Nothing escapes masters. Okay, so like I said, this original story is so short that you're gonna need to come up with your own details. So you're gonna use this format still for your 3 paragraphs, but I want you to add information about, like, for instance, the heart. You can add something about the heart, like how big was it? What color was it? Describing how it looks or its behavior. Okay, so what I want you to do is make a note on your story sequence chart. I'm just gonna have you circle the word heart, and then next to it, just put describe. So these are notes for you to remember. You're gonna describe the heart a little bit more in that first paragraph. So you're gonna need to add some sentences, but they're gonna be your own sentences here. And then maybe like circle stable boys right here. And maybe put the word background, meaning, are they brothers? Are they cousins? Are they friends? You get to make that part up, okay? Because it doesn't say that in the original story.
So just make stuff up to make it bigger?
Yes, make stuff up to make it bigger. You're basically elaborating, okay? So, because it's kind of a simple story, but you want to give it a little more excitement. Like maybe they were, did they like each other, or were they always irritated with each other? Were they picking on each other? You know, as far as the stable boys, I imagine they were young. So you can make up like where they came from and how they got there. Even the stall, this could, you could elaborate on the stall, like maybe it was part of a barn that was old, and you can describe the barn maybe. I'm gonna put barn here, since we have room for an extra word by hay. This is on number 1, on Roman numeral 1. I'm gonna put barn because the stall is probably inside the barn. And then I'm gonna put here describe. Describe the barn. Was it a old rickety barn that was falling apart and paint was peeling, or was it a newer barn that they just built? You can kind of give some more details here about the barn. In the next one, you could give some details about the background of the hunters. I guess you already mentioned the hunters. How about you tell more about the master? Put a little note next to the master that says something like background. Like maybe he owns this farm that has been in his family for centuries. Circle that word what, and maybe add something here like what is he thinking? Like, maybe he doesn't realize they're at the tips of the horns at first. Maybe he's thinking that it's something else. Like, what is that? What could it be? A branch, maybe? Or it could be a part to his tractor that he's been looking for or something. You can make it up, okay? So basically you get the idea. You're gonna make up some parts to this. How did they make an end to him? Put a little note here that says, how did they use a bow and arrow? Did they use a shotgun? Did they, I don't know, trap it? Did it try to jump up and run away and they were able to rope it? That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if you can rope a deer, but
The antlers will get in the way.
yeah. And plus they jump, so it's not like a cow that stays on the ground pretty much, but how did they make an end to him? Okay, so that gives you a little bit more details to add to your story. So you're gonna stay with the same, pretty much the same plot here, but add a little bit more description to those parts. Let's look at the checklist really quick. Just to make sure we got all that squared away. That's on page 59. So it's still gonna be just 3 paragraphs, okay? Everything's basically the same at the top. You'll give it a new title. So call it something different than the heart and the ox stall. You'll have to, this is a good one to end on because it'll give you some good ideas of a title. And then you've got your dress ups. Look at those in the middle here. You've got your LY, which now you have a handy dandy list, which you can use. Who, which, and then a strong verb. Like even escapes is a good strong verb, discovered. So you've got some in here that you could use. I don't know, sticking. No, that's not really, you might find a better one for that. You'll think of some good ones in here. So chased, that's a good one for that one. Okay, so you got those 3, and then you've got your band words, and we have the new one, think, thought. So right here, when he's thinking, and I even put think, which is a band word. But describe what he's thinking without using the word thinking. Like he wondered, that's a good one. Wondered, what could that be? Is that my tractor part I've been looking for? Then of course, say, said, see, saw. So whenever you have these speaking parts, if they're speaking, like here, has anyone found the heart? Make sure you don't say said. I could use like asked. The hunters asked, has anyone found the heart? And then of course, see, saw. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And I think we're actually like 2 minutes early. Woohoo! Do you have any questions about your homework? We did that kind of fast, but you guys can handle it. So that's
I
good.
have a question.
Yes.
So, the title, repeats one through keywords or from the sentence that you write?
Good question. So it's that title rule. She's looking at the top there. So where it says title centered and repeats 1 to 3 keywords from the final sentence. So the very, very, very last sentence of your last paragraph, you'll pick keywords. So it could be like nothing is a keyword, escapes, masters. Those are all keywords, even I. So you don't want to use words like, I mean, okay, let me clarify. You can use the word the in the title, but you can't count that as a word from your last sentence. It's got to be a keyword. So you can add words to it. Like you could say, actually, you could use that as your title. Nothing escapes the master's eye. Yeah, you could use that. Or, something with the word master, like the master knows or something like that. So you could use master, that's a keyword, and use.
The master sees everything.
Or the master sees everything. Yeah. Or no escaping.
You can't escape them.
Yeah. Any of those would work. So that's a good question. It has to be from your last sentence, at least one word, and then you can add other words to it. Also on here, it says each paragraph contains at least 4 sentences. But you've got that because you're gonna add more to it anyway, so you got that. You can put more in there. And then double spacing and all that, you guys got that. Okay, and if you wanna read it next week, print it, and then you can read it. Or I can even pull it up on the computer. If you wanna do it that way too. Good job today, girls. Excellent. Let me turn this on.